good? And look to the person on your right and say, I feel good. Let's give it up for the $6 million man, Crown Ambassador, Mr. Kyle Jefferson. Guys, I am so excited to be up and honored to share a little bit with you. I could make Neon nervous right now. But this is an absolute blessing to me just to be able to share a couple things. My name is Jefferson Green. I'm a one-star ambassador out of here, Atlanta, Georgia. Excited about the challenge. 3.5 years ago, I was challenged by Mr. Kevin Merriweather. You know, he asked me a question which changed my life. He said, how many people do you know in Atlanta that need to drop a couple pounds? And I was like, everybody, including me. And he said, go challenge it, make it fun, find out people's goals. And now we have a way to help some kids. And guys, I got started, you know, tried to follow the system as best I could, learned more of it, guys, as I've gone through the program. Was very fortunate to have some people stronger than me, more committed and running faster than I was. And you know, sometimes you don't have to be the best guy on your team, right? And many times you won't be. But you do have to learn the system, you do have to learn the model, and then you've got to go out and teach it and duplicate it. And one of the things that happened, if we go back to November of last year, you know, the co-founders and Blake was really excited about this holiday bonus bash. How many of you all remember the holiday bonus bash, right? And I remember looking through the ambassador Facebook page and all of the excitement from the ambassadors because these brand new Rising Star directors were getting massive checks. You know, the checks were coming through the team of $800, $1,200, $2,300, $4,000. There was one Rising Star director that got a $7,000 check in their first week, right? And I remember all the pandemonium, and one of the things Blake said, you know, with that post was he said, you know, sometimes we get it right. And you know, I thought about that ever since he said that in November, because I've realized, guys, when you're with a company that's as innovative as we are, you know, that's always pushing the envelope, it's always trying to make it better, faster, are they always going to get everything right? No, not at all. But they got that right there, guys. And so what I want to talk about is the weekly method of operation, kind of what happened. The first thing was they took 2% of the volume of the company, right, the earnings of the company, and they put it into these pools, right? They created these two pools, customer pool and also a promoter pool. 2% of that was for the Rising Star directors, the brand new people, to give the new person an opportunity to go out and put a victory on the scoreboard. And it was exciting because you saw new people going out and sharing a story, right? Sharing their own personal story of success. And that's, as you heard Kyle, as you heard Ernest talking about, we've got to leverage the new person's story. And then what they did at the beginning of the year is they also did this. They took it one step further. And they now tied those same pools, customer and promoter pools, with the PDs and ambassadors down directly with the Rising Star directors. And so you now had a vested interest to go out and help the new person hit the pool. And if you're a PD, right, then you would get the PD bonus on the customer and on the promoter. If you were an ambassador and the PD, you would get both of them. And so isn't it exciting to know that, you know what, we now have the top leadership in the company working directly with the Rising Star directors, creating the right behaviors and creating these massive checks. Does that make sense right there? You see how powerful that is? And guys, what happens is if you focus on this, it will change your entire business. So one of the things that we have to do now, I think one of the biggest shifts that's going on in the company is before it used to be we opened our month, right? We opened our month, and then what do we do at the end of the month? We closed it. And now we have to change to we open a what? A week. And we close what? Weeks. And we do that 4 times during the month. And in that process, we're going to have a opening the month and a closing the month. Does that make sense? So today, what should we all be doing? Opening our week. And we've got to run like crazy to Thursday at midnight, guys. And I will tell you, if you take the new people and you start creating stories with the brand new people, starting with your report looking at who can go triple points, who can go double points, right? And then you get everyone else across the line, pandemonium is going to happen. You've got 4 chances to do it. 4 absolute chances. But I want to digress a little bit, and I want to go back to one of the things that Ernest talked about, and one of the things that Kyle emphasized, is you have to personally enroll people. You have to personally enroll people. Because some people aren't going to they're not going to be the front runner. They're going to kind of take a wait-and-see approach. And if you're in management mode and you're trying to motivate your team to go out and hit these pools, guys, you're going to be waiting forever. You need to go personally enroll 3 new people every single month and start your pool cycle with who? With the people that you personally enrolled. And you get leverage from that and you create a story, guys, and it becomes absolutely exciting. And you know what will happen? You can leverage that through different parts of your team. You know, I'm going to give you a couple of good stories as I go through this. One of the things that I learned is, through this, is you can reset every week. Every single week you can make it a launch date until you get it. I don't have it. And as a company, we don't have it yet. But it's becoming part of the culture. And the stories and the success that's happening and how fast people are getting to regional director and getting profitable in their first 30 days is absolutely incredible right here. So one of the things that I want to talk about is you run the person to Rising Star, right? We're closing that month on Thursday, okay? And then we're sending them to a Director Day call on Friday. That Director Day is going to tell them exactly what they need to be doing as a brand new director and teaching them our week-to-week cycle. And guys, I'm going to give you a couple examples of how powerful this is and how fast it happened. You know, I had a young lady right there, Naomi Barbour, that just joined the program about 30 days ago out of St. Louis, Missouri. And she just got started. She hit Rising Star Director in her first day. Triple pool points. Right? Absolutely excited about that. And I said, listen, go out and challenge. Keep challenging people. We started with her story. Hey, she hit Rising Star in 1 day. And you know what? People were like, well, I just want to take the challenge. In her first week, she also hit triple pool points as a customer. Does that make sense? Started getting excited. All we started doing in other parts of the organization was leveraging that story that happened. Does that make sense? We had another lady, I just see her right now, a doctor out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, Miss Joy Russell. First week, she hits Rising Star Director. I remember she had gotten some placement at the end of the month, and I said, hey, Joy, you're going to have to go get another executive on your own to hit triple pool points. What do you think she did? She went and got triple pool points on promoters, but you know what she was also doing at the same time? Triple pool points on customers. And so now we had different stories that we started leveraging throughout the whole month. Guys, it got really, really exciting from that point. You know, we started just saying, hey, how many people can you get as a customer this week? How many people can you get as a promoter? And their second week, they hit the pool. Third week, they hit the pool. I know Naomi hit the pool every single week in her first 4 weeks. She did $2,500 in PQV, personally enrolled 5 or 6 promoters, and went regional director without a dollar drop to her. Went to the St. Louis regional 2 weeks ago, met Mr. Nick Sarnicola. She has a sister of hers that lives in Tennessee, and she says, I'm flying to Tennessee. I'm going to you with the Atlanta Regional Success Training, and now they're both here as brand new regional directors. Guys, the story doesn't end there. Obviously, Joy is in the room, right? Same thing, kept fighting, hitting the pools through customers, whatever. Last week of the month, she puts in another surgeon just like she is. That was her 5th promoter of the month. Hit the pool points for customers again at the end of the month. Another 30-day regional director. Certainly want to give it up to Dr. Joy Russell. And guys, the focus started getting creative. You know what's funny is Ernest was doing this long before he was being awarded. He was doing this. This was part of his mindset. He was dialed in. He had it. Every single week he was like, I'm going to bring in 3 promoters. I'm going to bring in 3 promoters. He didn't stop. This guy went from PD to 5-star ambassador in 1 year. And he had a gentleman in Silver Spring, Maryland, where I'm from, come in his business. And he'd been a regional director for a year. Hit regional very fast, was stuck at regional, and made a decision that, you know what, I'm going to go out and I'm going to learn this model and I'm going to implement it. And I remember hearing him on a call, they said to Kyle Passetti and Ernest, this is my month. this is my month I'm going national director, and that was last month. And I asked him earlier before I came up, I said, Stefan, how many new people did you all put in last month that hit the triple pool points in the first week? And Stefan, what was that number?
8.
8 people.
Woo!
Learning model, pushing model. That's all they knew. That's all they knew. You know, I'm in a lit group with 2-star ambassador Jason French, and you know, I kept seeing, and him and Corey Reese, I kept seeing all these regionals coming through, all these regionals. And I started looking at the Facebook posts, and I realized, wow, that's another 29-day regional. That's a 32-day regional. That's a 27-day regional. They broke 3 regionals last month, all of them under 40 days. Through our team, we had 12 regionals promoted last month. 9 of them were in their first 30 days, 2 national directors, and 1 of them hit it in 36 days. Is that running week to week? So what do you do when all these people come in? All these new directors coming in, what do you do? See, the company has given us the tools, guys. If you go back to the gold rush, right? Most of the money wasn't made on people that were mining the gold. Most of the money was made on people that were selling the tools. We have vet already here. We have the tools already in place. One of them is our Director Day call. This is exactly where you take your new person that hit director and you put them on this call right here so they can learn the week-to-week model. Maybe you went out and you executed it, but you don't know how to teach it. Does that make sense? You've got to utilize the tools right there. Okay, now, here's the other thing. We have the Friday leadership call. You know, I guarantee you I could have Kyle Cassetti or Mr. Nick Sarnicola talk about this until the end of the night about how important it is when people hit your regional directors. You need to have them on a call every single Friday. Kyle talked about it. If you're not part of a call and you're a regional director, you need to call someone in your support team, and you need to be on a call finding out exactly who we're running. See, the reason this worked is because we dialed in on who is the next person, who is the next person, who is the next person. And you can always grow. You can always get better. Kyle said something in the Ambassador and Above training. He said, why leave it to one? Why leave your model up to one person? You need 2 people. You need to have 2 people that you're dialed in on, 2 stories in each place that you're working. And you want to ask them questions like, who hit director last night? So if these are my regionals on my call, it's a quick call. It's 10 minutes. Who hit director last night? Who hit director last night? Okay, great. Are they on the new director webinar? You see how simple, how efficient those are? They on the new director webinar? Great. Okay, now, who are you running this week? Who's the next one? Who's the next story? Who's the next director? Have you identified them? Have you gotten their buy-in? Who's the next one? Okay, after that, who's in week 1? Who are the triple pool points? Who are those people that are going to go out and create that check that's going to create that excitement? Who's the one in the double week? Does that make sense? And then who's expiring? Does everyone understand what expiring means? Their first 30 days are getting ready to end. We got to get them over. Who is that person? You identify all those people. You put a plan to action together, right? The cool thing about the expiring stars, there we go. The cool thing about the expiring is the company's already put together the tool for you. All you have to do is identify them right on your 30-day report who the expiring person is and put them on that call. And let the company and the leadership and the 5-star ambassadors and above that are doing the leadership or expiring call tell you exactly that plan of action that needs to happen to take place. You got to, and that call's tonight. I think it's like right now, as a matter of fact. Well, obviously none of you all are expiring stars, you're all rising stars, right? But are your teammates on it? Are the people underneath you that are in their first 30 days, are they on that call? We got to systematize this, guys. I've always said system is greater than talent. System is greater than talent. But what happens when you have a lot of talented people? You just plug them into the system. Does that make sense right there? Awesome. So here's some pro tips. These are things that we just started implementing. I'll tell you, I appreciate Mr. Kevin Merriweather so much. I appreciate him so much because This guy took time away from, you know how you talked about that 3-hour radius that he built in? Well, when he hit 5-star, he extended that radius a little bit more and took time away from his beautiful wife, Stephanie, and his twin boys to help me get started in the Atlanta market, and invested everything he had to create an ambassador. He said, we're up here to create an ambassador. I can break Rising Stars in Jacksonville. I can break regionals. We're up here to create an ambassador. And one of the things that, through that, I met Mr. Nick Sarnacola, was able to develop a relationship with him, and he put me on his lid call. Very fortunate to be a part of that. And I see some of my lid members here with me, and Christina and Leah, wherever you are now, Brandon, Jason, Derek, just excited to be a part of that. And one of the things that Nick said to me in January is he said, Jefferson, there's no question you know how to enroll. There's no question you know how to enroll. Okay, you're the number one enroller in the company. But who are you reproducing it? Who are you teaching this to? It's not about how many people you can bring in. How many people can you help? How many people can you teach? And guys, the first thing that I did after launching my Friday call is I had a Wednesday check-in call. And on that Wednesday call, it was very quick, and it was just finding out where are we. Remember the regional directors that were on my call on Friday? It was calling them on Wednesday and checking in, where are we? Hey, you were running John, where's John? You said you were running Sue, where's Sue? How's Mary? Mary's over, great. Have you identified the next person? Does Mary have her 3 customers yet? Who's the next one, guys? Who's the next one? Who's the next one? This was a 10-minute call. And then I had a national director who just hit last month. And he said to me, man, we should do a weekly boot camp on Wednesdays to get everyone excited. Now, I'm sure he's here. I haven't seen him, Mr. Lamont Plummer. But he's like, we should have a Wednesday boot camp, make it fun, and just get people over. Just get people over and just celebrate the successes. And you know what? I heard Kyle, he said Wednesday, and I heard Kyle explaining. He said, you know why Wednesday? Because if it's Thursday, it might be too late. But if you know exactly where everyone is on Wednesday, then as an ambassador, as a presidential director, as a national director, as a regional director, you know where to focus your energies. And guys, I got to tell you, I saw Shannon Hamilton and Stefan the last 2 weeks of the month through their teams. They had 20 plus promoters coming in on Thursday, dialed in, because Ernest already had gotten this. He had already created that culture in several parts of his organization. I had to learn it. Does that make sense? Isn't it great learning how to do this when Ernest Ross is in your downline? Right? I mean, it's like, it ain't a bad place to be. I'll tell you that, guys. And, so you got to call like crazy. People buy into you. They're not buying into the shake mix, the cereal, right? The neon, all those things that we love. They're buying into you. But you know what they're buying into, I believe most importantly? They're buying into you to win with you. Because they could lose all by themselves. I believe HOPE, it stands for help one person every day. And we have an opportunity to do that if you master this week-to-week cycle. Does that make sense? All right. This is huge, guys. Got to understand this. This is you as leaders. You have to dial into why you need to master this. Let's just say that NIASA brings in 2 promoters and doesn't get the 3rd one over. Okay? So that new person that she brought in, that she's helping get those executives, right? They only get 2 of them. She gets $75 off of each of them for $150, right? But remember, who's the next one? Who's the next one? They might have people coming in underneath them. She's going to make $150. And that new promoter may think that that's a good week, correct? Right? $150 in my first week. What they may not understand is what they missed out on simply by getting that 3rd promoter in, hitting the triple pull. Do you see how that check goes from $150 to almost $1,000 possibly? What if you have the 3 promoters? You see that second level where it says 50 and 50? Do you realize that could go to any infinity levels down simply by getting one more person? And I will tell you guys, when you get that new person over the line and you get that buy-in and that level of excitement, then it's going to create a tidal wave of success through your organization. And so what I want to do is I just want to kind of give you something to think about, right? You all are here as Rising Star directors, regional directors and above, excuse me. And I remember when Nick said that to me, he said it was the middle of January. And I actually created a slide of my compensation at that time. And I was making on average $1,800 a week when he said that. Because guys, last year I enrolled 186 promoters. Woo! Yeah. Listen, I didn't understand that. It sounds better than it is. It was great financially, but it wasn't going to build me the business that I wanted to build. It wasn't going to build me the business like my sponsor, Mr. Kevin Merriweather. It certainly wasn't going to build me the business like I'd watched Ernest build right underneath me. And it certainly wasn't going to make me a legendary leader like Kyle Passetti and Mike Craig and Nick Sarnicola. And so I made a decision that I was going to go and help people win through a week-to-week cycle. And guys, the weekly income went from $1,800, and listen, this is in 5 weeks, to every week averaging over $3,000 a week. I joined a mid-call with some of the strongest people that I've ever been associated with. If you're not on a lid call, you've got to fight to get on one. You've got to fight to grow through your lid call. You've got to get to the events. You've got to get great at getting people to the events. You've got to do everything you can to get them to NST so that they can hear it from someone other than you. See, I was able to learn from my lid members, and we celebrated successes every single day. And you know what? It made me realize, wow, what is Jordan De La Cruz doing so well that I'm not doing well? And you know what I realized? He was crushing the week-to-week cycle, the week-to-week model. This is the foundation. Challenge Groups is going to bring it all together. That is going to train everybody to keep us having a legendary business that's not going to always need us. So as a regional director, here's what will happen for you if you master the week-to-week cycle. You'll hit national. Won't you, Stefan?
Oh, yeah.
You'll hit national. And you'll be an equity owner. And you know why Stefan's going to keep going? Because he wants his team to win, but personally, he just saw those PD and ambassador bonuses that he can get his own ride, right? You think Ernest is excited about where Ernest is? You think Ernest is excited about Stefan going, putting 8 people? You understand what I mean? So then you become a PD. And then guess what happens after that? Become an ambassador. You wear the jacket. And the jacket's important, but you know what's more important? You take your ambassador. And being an ambassador of life, health, and prosperity as we open countries all around the world. And so, guys, I'm excited. My time is up. I appreciate being able to share with you